It's time for the Hab-Normals podcast. All Habs, all the time. Hey there, everybody! It is a playoff time. It is also draft lottery just happened. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that stuff. Definitely the draft lottery. We are going to talk about Arber Xhekaj's contract that should be coming up soon. We're going to be talking a little bit about Caden Gooley and the guys going to the World Championships. Some off-season expectations for Kent Hughes. And a couple of other things. And we're going to get to that right away. Before we do, I'll introduce you to that's Tidjaginla up there. I'll introduce you to my two co-hosts. The one who's Tidjaginla is Matt Norton.
What's up?
There it is. There he is. And the other side there is Harry Rice.
Hello, everybody. I'd say I'm Caden Lindstrom, but I don't think that would be correct.
In what way?
Could be Caden Lindstrom is kind of African American.
Oh no, he's not kind of. He's fully African American.
Yeah.
And just call me Mike Brady, and we'll get right into this. Let's talk about Arber Xhekaj, as I mentioned him first, but I don't know if I haven't seen this out on Twitter, and I think if a lot of people knew that he's an RFA and his contract needs to be signed, he needs to be signed, that there'd be a lot of worried Habs fans out there screaming, "Sign Arber Xhekaj now!" Like was when Cole Caulfield, we were waiting for his contract. So he needs a new contract.
Oh God, I remember that too.
I'm quite
Caulfield thing.
Yeah. I feel quite confident that Arber Xhekaj will not sign an offer sheet with another team.
No.
I feel quite confident about that. So that means that is there a rush? I wonder if the team and the player feel a need for that. I don't think so. But he needs to be signed in the offseason. Mm-hmm. So the question here being, what kind of contract do you think they're going to offer him? A long-term deal, a bridge contract, and then how much do you think the AAV will be? Who wants to lead off that? You want me to do it?
No, I mean I can lead off here.
Well, go ahead then.
Ooh. Look, I'm
aggressive tonight.
I mean, I'll start off with the AAV first. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be anything like not so. It's not. I'm probably somewhere in $3 million range, maybe because he hasn't. What's up?
The season. You're talking about the season or like a 2-year bridge deal at total of 3? How you break? I just wondering how you break.
If they go longer term, I can see something around like 2.5, $3 million. It's not going to be anything nuts because he hasn't hit where we want him to hit yet. I mean, he's getting there, but he's not quite there yet, right? And so it's not going to be some insane amount of money. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I had an easier time getting a raise out of my boss than getting you to say how much.
Look, I mean, I think he's certainly earned at least 2.5.
Well, let's give a number.
I don't know. I like him at 2.5 to 3 million AAV. Probably 4 years, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to judge. I think. Because, again, I don't think it's something that, really needs to be thought about that much. I mean, his heart, you cut him open, his heart's the Canadiens logo.
Okay, so
why are you not going anywhere?
Why are you thinking
so
much?
It's a matter of they got to get in the room together, and they'll go, all right, here's your contract. They'll go.
Okay, so why are you thinking so much about it? It should be easy.
Yeah, I just don't know where he is money-wise.
Okay, you think about it. No, okay, you think about it for a minute. Harry, what do you got?
$3.5 million. Give him a 6-year deal. That's what I'm thinking. I think they overpay slightly just because he is very passionate to the team, and I think they do want to reward him with that. I think Arber would probably be down to take a pay cut, considering what he could make. Again, at 3.5, he probably would be fine with $1.5 million.
I mean, he's coming off his entry-level deal. That's 3.5. A good pay raise.
No, but I'm saying comparatively to what he would make.
I don't think he's going to ask for the moon.
No.
Personally, I think you guys are way too high. I think you're way too high. I'm looking at, and from what I'm reading too, from people who are giving their opinion and all that, I think 1.5 to 2 million a season.
Yeah, no, like I said, I can see that too. It's hard to judge.
3 years, 2-3 years.
I like that. I think that's a fair deal.
Think 4 years. I don't think it's going to be 4 years, but I say 2 or 3, probably 3 years at. Let's go 2 because I think he deserves it, but I think maybe even 1.75. You know what they gave Evans? Remember what they gave Evans?
Yeah.
I think a similar thing to that. And it's not a punishment or this or that. I think what I think he'll sign for it. And I think quite frankly, you know what? On a bridge deal, it's short term, money's going to be coming soon. He plays hard, he's going to earn it. Yeah, I think 2-3 years. Yeah, that's where I'd go. Personally.
I will say
honestly, I like that. I like that a lot. Like I said, I don't know. It just was hard for me to kind of pin down the money because again, it's like it's not something where like you can look at him and go, all right, this is something we got to get done like ASAP. Like because I think it's probably all but done.
It doesn't have to be ASAP. I don't think they probably even know. I think he'd be an easy negotiation. Don't you? I just feel he'll be.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's why it's like hard to come up with a number because I think they'll just go, here's a bridge deal. You make 1.2 million a year, and he'll go, all right, boom.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I read a few things. I didn't just come off the top of my head, so I'll give you that. But yeah, I think it's going to be.
I just put the feelers out to a few of my sources too to see if there's anything there. They've heard anything. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, there's no word, but it's got to be done soon because he's an RFA. You don't want. You also don't. Why let it go?
Want Carolina to come in with an offer sheet again? The bastard.
I don't. He's not going to. He has to sign it for it to be anything. He has.
Yeah, I don't think he has like
player.
Even if they come in with a big offer, he's still going to go to them, the Habs, and say, "Listen, give me something. Give me half of that. I'm good." Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to play anywhere else.
I don't think he does. I don't. I agree.
And I don't think he's going to be swayed by the money. I don't think the money is going to sway him to something he doesn't want to do. All right. So, that was easy. So, by the way, if that was a hard question for you to answer, like, I don't know how you're going to do the rest of the way. All right. So, the draft lottery just happened. I want to say 2 days
Boring.
ago. Yeah, I mean, there were no changes. I mean, basically how it finished, that's how it is. Actually, an interesting question. Is it possible that that's because of that leaked photo, even though we know that that was a rehearsal? But do you think it's possible that they just said, you know what, maybe we're just going to kind of do this way because anything we do could look like it's rigged?
No, I don't.
No,
think
I mean,
so.
I've seen like notes and stuff from the people that were in the room when the draw happened. I saw like
I know. Somebody I follow on Twitter was one of the people.
If the NHL were worried about looking like the draft lottery was rigged, when the Oilers won 4 straight years, they would not have had them win 4 straight years.
True. Not true.
So I don't think so.
I wonder even if Chicago would have gone to like if it's rigged, they know that's a bad optic.
I feel like if it was rigged, it would have gone to Montreal. And I don't say that as just a Habs fan, but there's a lot more money with Montreal getting first over San Jose. So I feel they would have done something like that, I think.
And did you see Celebrini's reaction to going to San Jose?
I did.
He wasn't excited.
No, he was not.
He wasn't excited to go to San Jose, and he's got ties there. His dad works there in sports.
Yeah,
so he's got some ties.
He's from California.
Yeah, and he's got some ties to San Jose like this. But I mean, like you say, he's from California. He probably knows. I don't want to live in San Jose.
I lived here the first 18 years of my life. I don't want to live here for 20 more.
Jeez, yeah. So, but he did not look excited to be going to San Jose.
No. I mean, that again, he's a newly fresh-faced 18-year-old. It might just be that's his resting face.
We don't know that well, right? Maybe
exactly. Macklin face.
You might be right. All right. So, what are the questions I'm asking? Okay, so it's about the draft lottery. I don't know what's wrong with your camera, though. So Montreal gets pick number 5, since there were no changes, so they don't go up or down. I mean, a question: do they make the pick, or
Yes.
do they move that pick to go down? Here's the scenario I heard, and it makes sense. They might do that if they feel confident. And I think every day we get closer to the draft, you're not as confident in this. But if they feel confident that Iginla would be there, say at 8th or 9th, they could trade down to Seattle or Calgary. And in Calgary's mind, you say, well, Calgary, why would they want to do that? They'd want to get Iginla. But they give up Vancouver's first pick and switch picks, and they get Zeev Bouillon. I could see them trading up to get a guy like Bouillon.
The Flames, I think, only want Iginla.
Calgary, I'm talking about trading up.
No.
And Montreal trading down to Calgary. I don't like the scenario either. Why? Because it seems I want Iginla. It seems like Iginla is really rising. I wouldn't take the chance. If he's your target, you need to be there at 5th to get him.
I agree.
Otherwise, got silent. Okay, next question.
Yeah,
yes,
it's easy.
We've talked about it a little bit here. I think everyone knows, basically, but it's me. We know I want Iginla. Who do you guys feel? Who do you guys want them to pick?
Outside of Iginla?
No, even if it's Iginla, I don't care. But who do you want them to pick?
I do want Iginla, but I will pick someone different just to be different.
No, you don't have to. This exercise isn't for that. It's not. Okay. It's just to see who you guys want.
Wait, exercise? All right, I'll do jumping jacks.
Yeah, no, not that kind of exercise.
Exercise is definitely something that I do not know what is.
No, but who do you like? If you're making the pick, who are you picking?
Okay, if I'm picking 5th overall, I'm going TJ Iginla. If he's gone, I'm going Caden Lindstrom. If he's gone, I'm trading down.
That's good.
Yeah, he's an elite power forward, and Caden Lindstrom's good too.
Yeah, I think there's. We'll talk about
before I kind of started looking into kind of the guys that'd be available around there. I was a big Cole Eiserman guy.
Yep.
I always thought that he would probably be the pick there. I mean, he's just a pure, probably the best pure goal scorer in the class.
I have him outside the top 10. I'm going outside.
Yeah, I mean, he's been falling a lot. I mean, and for kind of good reason. Like, he is very, very one-dimensional.
Very one-dimensional. He needs work everywhere. But
this is Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, well, that's actually in my draft. That's where he's going, is to Philadelphia. No, but think about
I can see it there, and
if it works, if they both hit, that's not a bad combo because you got a guy like Michkov all over there, skating all over. You get the puck to Eiserman, you got goals happening. So I can see it happening. I know Alex, that's who he wants.
Yeah, that's who he wants.
But Eiserman or Catton.
I mean, also, I kind of thinking about size too, and I know Rick, you and I kind of talked about how we kind of want a little bit more size. Eiserman's 6 foot.
Yeah, my whole life I've always wanted like a couple extra inches, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're talking about different. I'm sorry. I totally went somewhere else.
But yeah, I just and then I started kind of reading into Caden Lindstrom and TJ Iginla, and I was like, as much as I love Eiserman, as much as he's a goal machine, I think TJ Iginla and Caden Lindstrom would be better picks at 5. And I just, for me, it'd be TJ Iginla. And he beats out Caden Lindstrom really for me for a couple of reasons. One is, it never really clicked for me, but TJ Iginla, obviously his dad's Jerome Iginla. He grew up in an NHL family. He knows how it works. I think he's at that, he's very mature. For his age, he's just got that pedigree. Like, I think he can just slot right in, and I think he already knows kind of how it, what it means to be a pro, how to kind of act like a pro. I know he's younger, but again, having that pedigree.
Yeah.
And
not
also
just a pro, but a star player. He knows how a star player should act, and all that. Because there's a difference there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the character's there, and all around. I mean, he all around high end top 6 skills. I think, and like Jaden Struble. I mean, he's only 6 foot, but he is super strong at 6 foot.
Okay.
I think
his height being 6 feet, it's not a problem. He's 6 feet.
No, but I'm just saying too. But like, he's very strong for 6 foot. Like, you know, like Jaden Struble. Like, look at him and you know, you think he's strong, but like you don't realize how actually strong he is. I think TJ Ginla's just like that. And I think TJ Ginla's just a better, he's got that all around aspect to his game already.
Yeah, he's got that all around game.
That's something that fits for the Canadians now.
Yeah.
You know, again, as much as we really want that high end goal scoring, you know, I think TJ Ginla can supply that, but he'll supply the other aspects of the game, the defense, the playmaking.
Right, he won't get as many goals. He might not get as many goals as an Yzerman, but he's going to get more.
Oh, he's going to get a lot of points,
and he's going to be a higher impact player. Right, he's going to be a player that impacts all over the ice, not just in the offensive zone.
Right. No, I agree. And again, that's what kind of swayed me towards Ginla. I think Cade Lindstrom also has a lot of really good high-end skills. Obviously, he's friggin' massive at 6'4", yeah. I think 230 pounds.
Yeah.
But my issue with Cade Lindstrom, he does have a lot of upside, but he dealt with a couple of injuries this past season.
He's got
a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wary on that. So that's why I kind of, again, another reason why I'm on that Ginla train right now, because I just think he screams Montreal Canadiens. I mean, the character's there, the pedigree's there, the skills are there.
Yeah.
I think he's a perfect fit for this team.
Yeah, and I've been on this for if you go back a couple months, I don't remember which live stream, but I had said I'd just been on watching some people's opinions of Ginla, checked them out, and I said my gut feeling is Ginla for Montreal at 5 or wherever they're picking. And it's looking like it's there. It's looking like it. It seems like Ginla is Montreal's target. From what I can tell, Ginla might be their number one target. And I think because we're still, a month and a half away from the draft. Yeah, I think the closer we get to the draft, I think that's going to be more like solidified that that's their target.
Yeah.
And I think trading down at this point, or at that point, I don't think that'll get you a Ginla. Because I think Ginla's
going to get past Calgary.
He's going to be a legitimate number 5 or definitely top 10, but I mean, right there at 5. Because already I'm hearing a bunch of people that weren't that like he was maybe in the top 10 talk. Now they're having him in the top 5.
Yeah.
So he's really moved up. Anyway, I agree. He's got the complete game that I want to see here. Now, Caden Lindstrom got a lot of upside, got the size. If Ginla's not there and they take Lindstrom, I'm still going to be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm more than happy with that. I really want a Ginla.
Mm-hmm. Well, me too.
I think this time we can really get him because I think that is where he'll fall.
No, I agree. And it's funny. Like a lot of mock drafts I've been looking at, since the draft lottery. Like after the first 2, really kind of 3 picks, like it's all over the place. Like a few of them had Yzerman going like 4th overall. A few of them had dropped all the way to us. It's weird.
No,
like
Yzerman's going.
But I don't think that happens. I think the top 3 is pretty much set. I think it's going to go Celebrini, Demidov, and then that defenseman out of Michigan State. And then from there, it's kind of
Levchinov is out of Michigan State.
Levchinov, yeah. And then after that, it's kind of like I said, that's where things are kind of all over the place.
Yep. Because there's a lot of really good.
Had us taking Cade Lindstrom, but
there's a lot of really good, talented, high-end players in this draft.
No, I mean for sure. We're gonna get.
There's a lot of options once you get past those first 3. There's a lot of options. And it depends on how the team sees these guys.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. So like even locking yourself into like I did today with the mock draft, but I don't know because there could be some guys that I've got like later, but they're going to go way higher than you think. There's that kind of talent like through the first 14, 13 guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's really, and then it does drop off at 13. I think at 14 it drops off. I picked a guy for San Jose. Even in the thing, I said I'm not comfortable with this, but I don't know who else. I'm kind of stuck here. This is the guy I'm picking, but it drops off at that point.
Yeah, no, I agree, and you know, I think if it were to even come down to like Kate Lindstrom and TJ Ginla, you know, don't quote me on this, but I think Lindstrom's injury is going to do with his knees, if I'm not mistaken.
Hand and back.
Oh, is his hand in his back?
And he missed half a season this past season because of a hand injury, but he's also got some back issues. To me, that I'm going with a Ginla. If they're there together.
And nothing against Kate Lindstrom, but
no,
it just, you know, I look at that and I just go, the potential's there, but I mean, he's got back problems already at his height. Like,
yeah,
you got to really be careful there. I think, I think again, to me, that
especially with Kirby Doc, with Kirby Doc being like, is he injury prone? Is he not? Do you want to bring in another guy that maybe that question is there? When you've got a great option, there's another great option there. To me, that, you know, I don't want red flags. I want a guy that presents with as little, you know, as few red flags as possible. And with Ginla, you don't have too many, if any.
Really isn't many. Like I said, he's already so mature for his age. The character's there. Like, I just look at him and like I said, he just like screams Montreal Canadian. Like he just screams,
and he's a big game player.
And can't use Jeff Gordon type of player.
Yep, he's a big game player too because he steps up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
which he just did. You know, great results in the first round or whatever. Anything I read was he was like one of the best players, if not the best player on his team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a guy that steps up in the playoffs. His play does not come backward.
Yeah, and I agree. He's got a really good, solid, all-around top 6 game. I mean, even I think his plus-minus was very, very good, too.
He's got it. Yeah, he's a top 6 player, definitely. Now, here's the question. When does he hit Montreal?
2-3 years.
I agree with that, too. I'm saying 2.
I was going to say I'm thinking 2. I'd probably 1 more year in junior, and then they'll kind of see where he is from there, But
I'm thinking 2. Yeah, a year.
I'm thinking 2 years.
Yeah, me too. So not a guy that we're going to get right away. But then again, he's the kind of guy where you can't really say 100% that he won't do that and make it the team earlier. Like it's not. But I
agree. I mean, he's got the skills. The skills are there. He's got the pedigree. You don't know. But I also think he's a guy where like you can't. Also, like I really don't have many doubts about him. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not a lot where I look at his game and I have questions. Too. You know what I mean?
And I knew nothing. When I said I had a gut feeling the first time, I really knew not much about this kid. Just had the gut feeling, and then over the last couple of months, it's like I haven't seen anything I don't like about him that I'm reading or hearing. There's nothing that I've heard I don't like about him. So
100%.
All right, let's move on a little bit because Harry's just not into this, I guess, that subject. He's quiet. Caden Gooley is going to the World Championships along with Cole Caulfield for the USA and Slavkovsky for Slovakia. So Caden Gooley is for Canada. So my question is really simple. Is it a good experience for them? And do you think it's a little risky injury-wise?
I mean, I think, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, you know, because they're playing hockey, right? You never know what can happen. But I mean, on the flip side, you know, I also think it's very good because they're so young and they can just continue to work on their game. You know what I mean? And just continue to get better. I mean, like you guys saw Slav's goal. I mean, he looked. I mean, that was like an NHL move. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
back before they drafted him and what got him on the notice in that tournament, it kind of looked like that. That's what he did. I mean, that was a really nice move he made and the shot. Yeah. What do you think, Harry? Silent Harry?
Yeah, I think yes to actually both questions. I think that it is a good experience. We saw, for example, Samuel Montembeault when he went to the World Championship last year.
Right.
We saw how his game was elevated by being there and how much better he got this year as well. I think that
he looked so much more confident at the start of the season. Don't you find?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, unfortunately, did come down sort of at the end of the year after that Boston game, but
yeah,
you know,
but he recovered from that, though. He did.
Yeah, he's going to recover. I think with a guy like Slafkovsky, especially if Slovakia can do something in the World Championships, I think that's going to give him a lot more confidence. I think we're going to see him be a legitimate 30-goal scorer, probably 70 points next year. Caulfield as well. If he plays well with the U.S., he's going to do great next year. I think he's in for a 40-goal year if he can stay healthy, if his shoulder is 100%. Gooley, I was going to say as well, but that would imply he's a 40-goal scorer. I think Gooley will be lucky to have 40 goals in the next 4 years.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great, though? Well, wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, it would be. but Gooley, I think, especially with a guy like him, where he's very much more of a two-way defensive type of player, if he can get confidence, that really will help those types of players playing at the World Championships, going into, especially coming back to a team like the Canadians or, say, the Leafs or the Bruins, an original six where that pressure's on you. Yeah. I think Gooley's going to have a lot of ease in a way, I think, by playing the World Championships. And, of course, Matt said they're playing hockey. It's always risky that you end up getting hurt.
But for, like, Gooley just coming off that concussion, like, I think I worry more about him for that, you know. But you're right. I mean, then don't send guys to tournaments like that. And it's, you know, for as far as the experience, great experience. It's international experience. It's really good experience on bigger ice and all that. It's just something different, and they can really learn a lot, I think, going to a tournament like that, especially young guys when there's veterans there. And, you know, it's just a different atmosphere and feel. I think it's a really good learning experience. So, yeah, I think as long as, you know, you worry about the injuries, and it's really Gooley here I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Caulfield's shoulder, and Slav hasn't had an injury, really. Not a big, like, nothing serious like that. So,
well, I mean, rookie season when he was taken out for like 35 games.
Because if you just drink Slafkovsky, I'm killing you.
Did I just drink? No, I didn't drink Slafkovsky. All right, so let's move off of that.
Right. You better get on your hands and knees.
Yeah, I only do that for one person. And right now, there isn't that one person in my life, so I ain't doing that. How's that? All right. Off-season expectations for the GM, like what he's going to do.
So
as far as, and it could be anything, trades, UFA signings, offer sheets, who they're targeting in the draft.
Yeah, so I'll start this off because I you know, throughout the season and off-season a little bit, I've been kind of going back and forth with a few people. The consensus seems to be like Harris is definitely moving.
I think a defenseman or two have to move. I mean, absolutely.
Well, yeah, they would have to. It sounds like it's Harris and sounded like Savard. I don't know, because of that pairing with Hudson and how good it was. I don't know if they're going to move him over the summer now. It's probably going to be more of a trade deadline thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
And if that's the case, you know, probably move Kovacevic. Like, I don't think Kovacevic has a spot on this team anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I think it's Harris and Kovacevic, I think, are the first two guys they're going to try to move out and move out. Yeah.
Aside from like UFAs, I mean, I don't know if we're in a position that we need to sign UFA right now.
None. I think none.
I don't think so. You know, I know we talked about Reinhardt a lot. I mean, he'd be like the only guy, but again, we're not really in a position to sign a UFA and really make that push quite yet.
Right.
So I think we'll probably be quiet on that front. But I definitely think we'll see some trades. You know, like we said, a couple of defensemen got to move out. You know, I wouldn't be surprised too if they try to move that Winnipeg pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a, you know, I think
we'll move up.
I think that'll probably be but I think that'll probably be it.
Like it's going to be 24 to 27, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to get into that top 16 again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really think.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of myself, I don't know if we're going to be quiet on the UFA front. I think Quinn Hudson could be a guy that we end up targeting out of Boston University. I know we've talked about him a couple times. He's 22. I believe he's a free agent. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, but that's not. I don't think that's really how we mean UFA, though. I get what you're saying, and I don't.
I mean, he is a UFA, is he not?
But high-priced UFAs. I think that's where we're going with that. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about some big name, signing to a big like that's what I'm thinking. I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Well then. All right. Well, if we're going strictly that and limiting the UFA,
no, that's not what I mean. But when when you said that guy, I could see that. I could see what you're saying there it's a young guy. It's not big money. I can see them doing something like that. But I'm thinking when we're thinking UFAs, I don't think they're going to be.
All right. If we're going with like the Reinhardt Stamkos type of
actual
known,
big name
Reinhardt. I could see, honestly. Apparently, the Habs have had some interest in Reinhardt.
Yeah, there's been rumors.
Love him. Yeah. I'd love to see him in Montreal. I don't think it happens. I'd love to see it. UFAs, like I said, aside from maybe Quinn Hudson, I'm still holding out hope we go for Daniel Sprong because I wanted him on the Habs for the past 7 years.
I like that. I can see too because that's not a big signing. It's a smaller contract. Those kind of UFAs, I could see them maybe doing something to fill a hole for a year or two, like that. But they're not Stamkos. They're not. Stamkos is not coming here. Reinhardt, he's young enough. Maybe if they feel that, I could see that maybe happening. But not Stamkos. Nobody that old. If they're going for a UFA, he's young, 27, 28.
If it's only a 1 year, I could maybe see it happening as more of a proven. I could see it, but I don't.
Are they going to sign here for 1 year? Really? That's like a 38-year-old, 39-year-old come in for 1 year.
I mean, he's 35. He probably has something to prove.
But he'll sign
35. He wants to win another cup.
He'll sign. Yeah, he'll sign 2 to 4 years. His next. He's not signing 1 year.
I feel Stamkos is only signing a 1 year. I don't know where, but I
really why? Why? Okay, why do you feel that? I'm curious.
I don't know why. For some reason, I'm drawing comparisons to. I it's no coincidence. It's a coincidence.
Okay,
Joe McGinley when he went to Boston, he only signed a 1 year deal, and he was like 34.
I remember
which is really weird because he could have signed a 3-4 year deal, which he did eventually do with Colorado. But I see him as more of a sign a 1 year. Prove that you can still do it, and then get a 3-4 year deal. I see him as one of those types of guys.
I still think you can do it.
Like Patrick Kane this year, right? Patrick Kane would.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Patrick Kane's probably going to look for a 2-3 year deal after this year. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that approach. But I mean, why would Montreal sign? I guess for 1 year. No, you're right. Okay, if it's a 1 year deal, almost anybody, if they, almost any name then for a 1 year deal because it doesn't really hurt you. There's no commitment. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
but I still doubt it's going to happen personally.
I will say though, even if we're rebuilding or we're a contender or whatever we are, Montreal will always be an attractive option. I think to a lot of free agents. They might not end up signing there, but I think it is at least seen as
as long as we're a contender. Oh yeah, to come here to win, 100%, and for a coach that they like too. Even better.
Exactly. A guy like Marty, Stamkos knows Marty.
Yeah.
Knows the type of guy he is. I could see it happening. I don't think it will. But I think that's very much a...
Here's the scenario I could kind of see for that to happen. Mm-hmm. In camp, Joshua isn't really taken to that second line wing. They're not... Like, I can see them signing a guy for that second line wing for 1 year because this year is not only about development. It is
about starting to win.
Winning. It's starting to be about winning.
Yep.
So the wins and losses now mean something.
Yeah.
And so I can see on a short-term contract them trying to shore up that second line to make a second line that can win. You can win with. So
which I will.
Stamkos would fit in there on the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I mean that's even where I see a guy like Daniel Sprong could fit. He's not ideally a second line winger, but with the amount of offense he brings, as long as you got guys like Doc and Newhook who can make up for his non-existent defense, he could fit there. He's got. I still think Daniel Sprong is a guy who could put up 60 points in the season. He's got phenomenal offense.
Defense is going to be a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he
So,
is much more of a third, fourth line guy.
But you're not really wrong if they feel for 1 year that's the move. Like for 1 year, I could see something like that. You know,
exactly.
I know about Strong, but Stamkos for sure.
Yeah,
I could see a 1 year contract if he's into it. I could see them doing that if they feel that they don't have anybody really for that second line right in the slot.
And probably the only thing is you'd have to hope that with your scenario, you'd have to hope that Stamkos isn't signed by the time training camp begins, which I'm pretty sure he will be. But
yeah, probably will be. Yeah.
There's something else I was gonna say. Shit. I completely lost my thought. I was gonna say something about Daniel Sprong. I think I completely. I think they do it with actually it was about Stamkos. I think they do it with Stamkos if they sign him. What they did with Monahan last year. Hey, we'll give you this 1 year. We'll reevaluate at the deadline. If we're winning, we'll keep you. If we're selling, we'll trade you. I think it's more of
that could be
with Monahan.
Yeah, that could be. And you know, we don't really know how they're evaluating the team. How what they not 100% where they're going for next year. So
yeah, exactly.
As long as there's no commitment past the season, then you could spend $5-6 million on a Stamkos. And it won't hurt you. Maybe it won't hurt you that much. It's 1 year,
Yeah, and even if you have to retain salary again, it won't hurt you. It's the 1 year, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not gonna
hurt you for a year. But because they only have one spot left to do that, right?
Yeah, they only got one back for Edmondson.
Yeah, we get one back for Edmondson, but even then, if we're selling at the deadline. Not really anybody to sell aside from maybe Evans or Devo or Armia, and I don't think those guys are going to get retention.
I don't think, as far as, were you talking about buyouts or?
No, if we were to trade at the deadline, if we were selling at the deadline.
Oh, you mean to retain? Yeah.
Yeah, to retain.
We'll see where they are at the deadline.
Yeah, obviously,
There could be a lot of different scenarios at play there, right?
That is true.
Okay, let's look at offer sheets. Yeah. Do you think Montreal will offer sheet anybody?
No.
No, okay, I know, stupid.
They want to build goodwill with the GMs to make sure they can get good deals in the future. They're not offer sheeting anybody unless a team phones them up and says, "Hey, can you please offer sheet this guy? We really don't want him anymore," to help out a team. But who the hell would do that? Then they can
make a trade, then, right? Then
exactly
make a trade. And no, I agree with you 100% exactly for that. Offer sheets may be something that's you can do. But, man, if you want to trade down the road, because maybe there is a deal there that could be made, and you've offer sheeted that team, they're unlikely to want to deal with you.
Exactly.
Not on anything serious or big that's really helpful to you,
To me, the way I see an offer sheet working, or how it should be done, is if you're in the spot of a current Colorado Avalanche or Florida Panthers, where you're right on the cusp and you need that one piece, if you see that one piece as a guy you can offer sheet, then you go for it. That's the only way I think that you should go for an offer sheet. You should not pull an Edmonton Oilers when they offer sheeted Dustin Penner being bottom of the fucking league.
Right. No. You should not. You should be prepared to have an enemy.
Deal with the backlash.
It should be important enough that you're prepared to make an enemy of another team.
Exactly.
Oh, they have that GM or whatever, right? Because as long as that guy's there, he's not going to like you very much.
Exactly. Like Anaheim, Brian Burke hated I think it was Paul Coffey who was the GM at the time. I forget who, or former Oiler defenseman, 80s.
Kevin Lowe.
Kevin Lowe, thank you. When Kevin Lowe was the defenseman, he hated Kevin Lowe because of that Penner offer sheet, and ended up being the best thing for them.
I know, offer sheets just create. I think it's,
Yeah.
And then look what happened with Carolina.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, Carolina. Ooh, we're gonna be funny with offer sheet KK.
They regret that.
Sucks.
Oh yes, they do.
And it's a great segue into exactly what we want to talk about next. Former Hab, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, KK. He had 9 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time in a game that went to 7:24 of the second OT in a playoff game. Do the Canes regret poaching this kid away from us?
Right? Is the sky blue?
Right. Now, they would never admit it, though, obviously, because...
Obviously.
And I ask you this. How... Did they not realize what KK was before they signed him to the 8-year deal, do you think?
I don't even think they like KK. I think they went, you offer sheet at Aho, we're gonna offer sheet this young guy, and then Bergevin went.
They signed him.
Now he's on my plan. Now he's on my case. He's not my problem anymore.
But then they signed him to an 8-year deal at $4.8 million. They had to know that he wasn't worth that, or do you think maybe they didn't yet?
I don't think they did. I think they were still banking on, he was a former
I don't care. He's not my problem anymore.
No, I don't care. I get that either. But it's a funny thing. I like to laugh at this. How that bit them in the ass because they're still cocky as shit on social media. And I hate the Canes social media because they're so cocky. It's kind of Leaf-like.
So that's don't insult the Leafs fans like that.
No, I agree with that. They're so childish. The Canes fans are childish. There's good ones.
Oh yeah.
But the bad ones are childish and nasty and threatening, because I got threatened by them 1 year, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now.
Oh shit!
Because when the offer sheet for Aho there, I put out a video when I was mad Aho signed with them and not, and I put out a video and they didn't like it and I got threats. So
yeah, shit.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that Aho signed with the Canes. I mean, the Canes matched that offer sheet.
They matched. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they absolutely regret it. I mean, Kotkaniemi had a good year last year. I'll give him that. He put up 18 goals, 43 points, had a decent playoffs. But this year, he starts the season off hot. He has 10 points in his first 10 games.
Yeah, and that was
he had another good month in November. He had 4 goals, 5 points, which it's not terrible for a third line guy. He had 1 goal in December, 2 assists in January, 3 points in February, and 4 points in March. He only had 2 points in April because he scored 2 in the last game against the Blue Jackets. He has been pointless in 7 games so far, unless he got a point.
Yeah, someone made a meme about it. They called the 007.
Yeah, because he's 0 points, 0 goals, 0 assists in
7 games.
What was it?
It's 8 games. After
games.
I don't think he has the point.
No, but it was after the series. I saw that 007. I mean, they have to regret that. I mean, how could they? Yeah. And that's another reason why overshooting might not be good, Yeah, you could make a mistake on a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's worked out before. Look at the Flyers when they oversheeted Shea Weber. That would have been a great contract for them. Ended up being a great contract for Nashville and Montreal.
Wow,
but the Flyers
14 years.
Had a good. I mean, he's good for 10 of those years. What's the last 4 years being bad? I mean,
true. I get what you're saying. You're right, considering.
Yeah. I will say I completely get the 8-year extension for Kotkaniemi after that 1 year because he was overpaid. That was the point. You overpay him, you make Montreal not accept it. I get it. He's 23. He was expected to be a second-line center by now, if not a first-line center, given his draft pedigree. He is a fourth-line center right now. I don't care what his points in October, November say. This is a fourth-line defensive forward. You gave $4.8 million to. Nobody will take that contract.
Next question. If they move that contract, what do they do?
No.
They can't move that.
The only way they move that is if they're packaging a second-round pick, I think.
And throwing something good at them.
Unless there's a team that is so dumb that looks, okay, well, he's still 23. He's young. He might pan out. I mean, here's the thing. With Utah's development, they'll turn Kotkaniemi into a second-line center. They actually probably would. But the fact that Kotkaniemi has not panned out, I think speaks much less to Montreal drafting wrong at third and more so to how horrible the Hurricanes are. This is not a player problem where you put up a great amount of points in October and November and then you're shit the rest of the year. That is a team issue for moving you constantly up and down the lineup. Brian Savage is a great example as well. Not a good player.
No, good player in October, November.
Mr. October, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? I disagree with you here. It is. I don't know if it's the Canes. I think Montreal ruined him. They rushed him in. He should have gone back to Finland for a year or two before he came back in. I think they ruined. Honestly, I think that's where his problem is.
I don't think you can necessarily say we ruined him, though.
And I mean, he is still young enough where, like, if they were to offload him, like depending on the team, they might be able to resurrect him a little bit, but I have a hard time seeing that at $4.8 million.
You got to retain on that, and you're going to retain
a lot of money for a fourth line player.
You know, you're gonna retain for 6 years when you move him. Probably not. And are you going to buy him out and go paying him for 12 years? I doubt it.
No.
So yeah, I mean they're kind of in a rock and a hard place, but they put themselves there.
And it's funny too, because like, I mean, me, Cam, and Alex have talked about it because Alex is on the Nietzsche's the friggin' Philly bandwagon. And I want to punch him right in the fucking beak every time that name comes out of his mouth. And and I've said, I'm like, they're not gonna move Nietzsche's. If they're gonna move a center, they're gonna move KK, but they're gonna have to fucking throw an arm and a leg in with him. Oh, and then Cam's just like, well, I take him. I'm like,
Cam's
all right, Cam thinks he'd be a good fit on the Bruins. I'm like,
good. I like that.
You can have him. Good. You're gonna suck, but
I have no problem. Bruins or Leafs. Love to see him on the Bruins or the Leafs.
I'm like, that's fine. Did you go pay $8 million for a fourth line guy?
Yeah, I mean that. If he was making 2.5, sure.
Like, yeah, you could probably easily offload that. That's
2.5 center. You can even probably keep that around, but it's almost $5 million, especially in a dead cap for the first two of it.
Yeah,
that was a horrible signing, and this goes to show what some people's pride will get them into. Right? It's kind of a pride. We got to do this. We're going to sign him, but it's that's a horrible contract.
And I will say.
Go ahead.
But before we move on, I will say there's going to be people probably clipping what I said about Kotkaniemi not being the right pick. That's not what I mean. Obviously, he was the wrong pick. It should have been Quinn Hughes or Noah Dobson. But for what he could have been, it looked like a good pick until he went to Carolina.
You know what? Nobody brings that up. That right? They could have taken Noah Dobson.
Yeah, even Evan Bouchard we could have had.
Imagine Noah Dobson right now. This guy is tearing it up.
Imagine Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson playing together.
He would have been nice to have here.
Yeah.
Like he'd still be here. Well. He'd still be here. He wouldn't have gotten traded.
Exactly. Like the fact that
we took Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes. Listen, Quinn Hughes. I take Noah Dobson.
Oh yeah.
Even Evan Bouchard, dude, had a point per game season.
Yeah.
Like I will say,
no, the reason I bring this up and I'm going like that, it's because we always say Brady Tkachuk.
Exactly.
I was about to say that. How many guys behind that really might have been better picks?
Like I will argue.
Hey, at least we weren't the Bruins and totally fucked up 3 picks in a row in the first round.
To be fair to the Bruins, if they picked Barzal, Shabbat, or whoever they could have picked, their cap is fucking destroyed. So arguably not a great.
They would have made other moves.
Yeah, but considering 2 of the guys are now gone and complete bums, and the other guy, Jake DeBrusk, is about as consistent as a friggin' I don't even know, but the dude has 2 games where he's God, and then he shits himself for about a month, and then he has 2 games where he's God, and then he shits himself for another month.
Very interesting segue we can do right there. This brings us to a new segment that we call Leafs Burnings.
All right.
Where we talk about the Leafs. Now, because you just brought up gods. Did anybody see Mitch Marner talking about how they're like gods there?
I did not know.
You did not see him saying that?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah, he I don't know what the question but he said they were kind of like gods here, to be honest.
Well, no, he said they look at us like gods. Which
yeah.
Like I said, I think Mitch Marner soft is 12 ply. When I look at him, I just picture a neon light saying "bitch" right above his head.
You know what he was doing yesterday, Mitch Marner, or over the weekend, whatever? He was golfing at his $350,000 a year golf course that he pays dues for. Just saying, how serious are you when you can just brush that off like that? Another year, another loss. I'm already golfing and enjoying my off season. I don't know. For me,
I mean,
would
Tavares too, to have the nerve to say, like, we're there. Really?
Tavares.
I mean, it's been 8 years and you've done shit. I don't
we
know
were
what
right
you're
there,
seeing, but you're not seeing what we're seeing.
We were right there, yeah. So, by the way, if you're just seeing this and you didn't know, Sheldon Keefe got fired today. That we're filming this, which is Thursday. What's the date? The 9th of April. So Keefe got fired. Shit, where was I going with that? Anyways, we'll go with surprised, not surprised. Obviously, not surprised.
Oh, I think honestly, he's probably been fired for a few days because all of the season-ending pressers he's been in, you can tell like he's done. Like he knows he's gone.
He's done.
You know,
where I was going with that was everything else I'm seeming to hear is like the players, the fans. Not all of them, they're starting to lose, but a lot of them just want him to do this again with a new coach. Don't make too many changes and try to win again. Now, that's insanity, is it not? Einstein's theory of insanity.
I mean, I tweeted, I said, when Keefe got fired, I quote tweeted, I said, now Shanahan's got to go. Morgan Riley needs to be the captain. And you got to move one or both of Marner and Tavares, or you are the literal textbook definition of insanity to be about the 9th year in a row that you're trying the same thing over again, expecting a different result.
Well, because
Matt, you're clinically insane at that point. Clinically insane.
They're right there, though. They were right there. They were right there.
They were one goal away from the second round.
Okay, but
they had to come back down 3-1, but they were one goal away.
To me, when you're saying that, we're right there. We were contenders for the cup. What he's saying, we were right there. We almost won a first round. Right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's what everyone hears, thoh.
No, I don't think that's what he meant either. I think he legitimately meant, like, we're right there to be in a cup contender. I'm like, dude.
Right.
I've watched this for 8 years now, and every single season, I'm like, I don't care what they do.
Never been a cup contender.
They're not doing anything in the playoffs. Like,
they've never been a cup contender.
They're not.
19 years. It's 19 years now. They've won one playoff series.
No, it's 20 years. 2004 is the last time they won rounds.
So
it is 20 years.
Since then, it's 20 years. So now it's 20 years now.
Yeah.
One playoff series. All that money on all that talent, and you win one playoff series, and you want to go back after and do this again? Without much change?
And I think, I mean, and you know, like you said, I mean, there probably are some fans that want to run it back, but a lot of fans are done. Are done with the core. Like they want a shake up for exactly the reason I just said. Like it's been 8 years and you've won a playoff series. Clearly something's not working. You know, I think Keefe did have something to do with that, but I don't think it's not all Sheldon Keefe. I think it's a player issue. I think it's a leadership issue. I don't think John Tavares is a good leader at all. Quite frankly, I really don't.
In my opinion, the player that's at the problem, the biggest problem of the four, take Tavares out of there, of the three left, is the guy they're not going to trade. You look at their record without Matthews in the lineup because he's sick, and they win big time compared to losing.
Yeah.
So without Matthews there, they're a decent team. To me, the problem is Matthews.
I mean, it could be.
As much as he,
I think the other giant problem is Tavares is a shit captain.
Yeah, he's a shit, but he's gonna be gone. Like you got to buy him out.
Morgan Riley should have been the captain of that team years ago, and he should be the next captain of that team.
Yeah, but you know they'll give it to Matthews. You know that they're going to give the next captaincy to Matthews if they take it from Tavares. In my opinion, not the right decision, but that's where I think they're going to go.
No problem.
I think Matthews is the guy that's got to go. And it's not because I hate him so much. Yes, I hate him so much. But if you look at, to me, that number of, it's like 38, 38, 19, and 10 with him not in the lineup. So it's not like it's hugely, but they win more than they lose without him. That tells me
they played better against the Bruins when the games that he
missed. Look at those two games. They played better. Without him.
Like like I said, I think it's got to be more than Keefe, because I don't think Keefe is. It's not Keefe is part of the problem. Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely. I don't want to seem disrespectful when I say this, but he's a garbage coach. I think he's a pushover. For me,
he's not a motivational
I've been out as him as a coach since he let Marner back on the ice after Marner had a temper tantrum and went in the locker room. The fact that Marner was able to get back on the ice just said, oh, well, Sheldon Keefe doesn't run the team, the players do.
Right. And you know what they say?
No coach in their right mind with a pair of balls is putting somebody back in on the field, on the ice, whatever it may be. They storm off because they got benched because they're playing the crappy game.
Yeah.
So I think Keefe was definitely part of the problem, but
Keefe?
Yeah, no, Keefe was a big part. No more. Do you see some of his pregame talks to the team before they go out on the ice? It's like I wouldn't. There's a saying of a guy would skate through a brick wall for that coach, right? You ever heard that? Something like that?
Yeah. I mean, that's how the Habs talk about Marty.
I wouldn't throw a light body check for this guy.
I think he's a pushover. He didn't run that team.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
horrible coach.
I think Austin. I think you might be right about Austin Matthews. Like, I think he's the guy his ego's too big for any coach to handle.
Yeah. I
think Marner's right there too. He's
a cancer on the team. It's a cancer on the team. It's not good.
Because I think no matter who they bring in to coach, the minute the coach does something that angers them, they're gonna bitch about it and then gone.
If they had
was there so long because they could control Sheldon Keefe.
If they had Wendell Clark,
you have to break the core up. Otherwise, they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, they have to. If they had Wendell Clark as the captain right now, right, Mitch Marner would be a little more of or less soft. Let's say he'd be more of a hockey player that he wouldn't be crying on the bench. That stuff wouldn't happen with Wendell Clark. You need a strong.
I don't know. Wendell Clark might yell at him and make him cry.
No, he'd have a talk with him in the locker room and say, "Listen, you don't do this," and whatever, the right way to do it. But the point is, Wendell Clark, you go out and fight for this guy. John Tavares, who's going to go out and fight for that guy?
Nobody should be.
And why wasn't John Tavares pulling Marner over and say, "Listen, man, you can't cry on the bench. You can't."
That's a good question. That's a good point, right? When we saw that, Tavares might have been on the ice. I don't know. But that interaction was between Nylander, Matthews, and Marner.
Yeah, Tavares, nothing. And you didn't hear anything about him either, saying after, and they wrote about it, and John Tavares was the real captain, and he whatever. You didn't hear any of that either.
Captain. He doesn't lead. He's not a leader.
Yeah. That's why they don't win.
I think he's honestly kind of at a point in his career where he's washed up.
His numbers say he's not fully washed up.
No, but he's getting there though. You know what I mean? He's getting there.
He should be done in Toronto. He should be done. They should be
done in hockey.
I don't know about hockey, but you can tell by just the way that he's playing. He's slowing down. He's getting there.
Yeah, no, he's getting there. But he put up 62 points.
Absolutely. He's still there's still stuff there, but you can tell he's getting. He probably has.
No, he definitely
maybe 2 good years left, and then it's really gonna free fall. But he's getting to that point where
he wouldn't be a captain that I would be all gung ho to play for. No, I want to play with John Tavares. No, not at all, man.
Plus, when was the last time John Tavares stood up for someone on his team? Isn't that what the captain's supposed to? I never see Tavares in scrums or anything like that.
No, never. You never see that.
Hell, Nick Suzuki will drop the gloves and beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, probably would.
Tavares, he might get in there, mix it up a little bit, hold on to a guy. Oh, did you see? I don't know where it was. There was a fight in the Bruins game last night. Did you see the 2 guys that looked like they were
Kulikov? Yeah.
They were dancing, doing a follow. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was
fell off the stools at the bar we were at.
I had to go look at that again and go, what?
I thought it was awesome. Yeah, they were going across there like.
There's two guys like they're dancing, looking at the camera. I thought like they're trying to a little levity here, like that thing. But and then they were mixing it up a little bit. But it looked like they were ballroom dancing, man. It was so funny. All right.
I thought you were going to talk about the fight between Tkachuk and Pastrnak.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah. That was kind of like I was hoping Pastrnak did, like, I don't know, he would do better. Like he kind of looked ridiculous.
Against Matt Tkachuk? That fight was over before it started.
It was over when Pasta threw his first punch and it got ducked by Tkachuk. It was over.
Caught him on the button.
No, I think it was the last punch caught him on the button. I think it was over when it started, and Pastrnak tried to, like you said, duck. He tried to go and then tried to, and that was it. He was off, and that was it. Tkachuk had him on the ground like a, yeah. No, but again, like I said with Pizzetta, he had the balls to get in there and do that, and he said to the coach, "I want to fight him. Is it okay? Is it okay?" And the coach said, "Yeah, you can go do it. You want to do it?"
With a guy like Pastrnak.
Granted, I don't think Matt Tkachuk's one that I would want to fight.
No.
Like Matt Tkachuk literally ducked the punch and then went bang, 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 and Pastrnak was on the ground and he put his hand went, no.
He hit him once. No, wait. He hit him once. A good one in the face, though, but he hit him only once. Of anything like of consequence.
He caught him a couple times, but then he got him on the button that knocked him down. Then he hit him a couple more times.
But I'm saying he hit him once in the face. That was the only serious punch he hit him, but it was a good one. That's what I saw. I was watching. I watched the game last night till it was like a minute left when it was over. It's funny how that game went. The two games, it kind of mirrored each other for each team. It was kind of, it almost was exactly the same as the other game, but
Boston wins 5-1, Florida wins 6-1.
Yeah, okay, but is what?
I don't know. I feel like Boston almost became sore losers, though. Like, did you see?
No, they did with all the shit they were doing.
Teams, I mean, the Panthers are not a team that doesn't shy away from.
I think it was.
But the Bruins really devolved into some.
I think it was more jockeying.
Did you see Witherspoon just wind up and crack the guy in the back of the kneecap?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. What the fuck?
A little frustration, but I think also a little bit of, listen, we're going back to our barn. It ain't going to be easy for you guys. I think it was to show that more than anything, in my opinion. I'm frustrated.
I agree. I also thought Marchand was kind of a chicken shit when Montour was celebrating and he grabbed him and put him in a headlock.
Did you see what he did? They were the refs had them apart, and Montour was doing like this. I thought that was funny, and Marchand sort of just said, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah. I mean, the funniest part though was that the guy started dancing.
The two guys dancing was hilarious. So they were dancing. It's like that was on purpose.
Yeah, no, they started. No. They were tangoing. They were ballroom dancing.
That's what it looked like. I swear to God.
No, that's what it was. They did. They started dancing,
and then they started to fight a little bit. So I thought, okay, no, it just looked like that. They were, with the skates, they weren't steady, and it just looked like it. So
they were dancing.
I thought it was.
No, they started dancing.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
They're doing a do-si-do to the corner.
I'm glad I caught that. Okay, let's end with this. Speaking of playoffs, and Harry and I talked about this a little bit. He hadn't seen it till he looked at it while we were waiting for you, Matt. Did you see Trouba's almost hit on Nature?
Oh my God! Fucking launched himself like a missile.
Have you seen? Yes, but do you see it now? They got it in slow motion from behind the plate. You're seeing him like that.
Yeah.
He launches himself, and immediately the elbow comes up at the head. He just missed him. He was going for his head with the elbow. Now, he didn't hit him, but if you're the Dobbs assholes, how do you not call this guy in and say, hey, you left your feet, and it's clear what you were trying to do?
I agree. No, and Cam talked about it. We all thought that it was going to get looked at because, yeah, he went up with his elbow. I mean, I looked at him like he literally thought he was a friggin' missile getting shot out of an artillery gun.
And the elbow was targeted at the head. There's no doubt about it.
If he hit Xhekaj would have been done for the playoffs. For
the playoffs, maybe his career.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that would have taken his head clean off. He
could have killed him.
Yeah. I'm honestly shocked Trouba didn't snap his neck because he was.
If the elbow hits him right here. Right here, he's dead.
Yeah,
I
can't believe Trouba. I mean, granted, I think the only reason why Trouba didn't snap his neck is because he had his elbow up to hit the boards first. But he was full horizontal. If he hit that head first, his neck would have.
Great, that would have been what he deserved.
It's unfortunate that it didn't.
Right, or his face hits the top of the boards there, and he just breaks his face. I'd love to have seen that. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of fuck around and find out. And that's what Trouba deserves.
Yeah, no, I've never said. I think that's the first time I saw someone launch themselves full horizontal like a fucking missile.
And leaving his feet, even though he didn't hit him, why is that not a penalty? That should have been a penalty for the intent. I mean, he left his feet. You're not allowed to do that. Have you ever
seen anybody go full horizontal like a missile like that?
Never. I've never seen anything like that. He thought he was Superman, like flying through the air.
But literally, like
never seen anything like that. And then
Trouba doesn't leave his feet until the trip happens.
What's that?
I'm seeing a side angle and I'm looking at slow motion. Trouba doesn't leave his feet until Xhekaj moves out of the way.
But he launched. Why did he launch that elbow? There's no doubt about that elbow was launched at his head.
Oh, yeah.
You can say, well, he was flying and his elbow went up. No way. Saw it in slow motion. You could see the elbow. He tried to get him in the head with the elbow.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know how Dobbs didn't look at that. I don't. Because if he connected, Marty Xhekaj is probably in a hospital room right now.
They're waiting for somebody to die. I mean, that's, from something. I think that's what they're waiting for. I mean, George Parros, he's got to have CTE. He's not thinking right.
Yeah. I mean,
how can you be thinking right and you don't even call him in at least to talk to him? How come they didn't even do that? How do you just let that go? I said, that's okay. He didn't get hurt. It's okay. But the next time he'll kill somebody, and then what? Then it's on you for not reeling him in.
Yeah, and honestly, too, it's honestly like kind of a stain too on the original six because he's the captain of the Rangers and he's doing this.
Yep.
He's the captain of an original six franchise and he just tried to kill a guy again. This isn't the first time that he's tried to kill somebody on the ice.
And then you read a story about how great
Jacob Trouba trying to injure people.
But I'll see a story what a great leader Jacob Trouba is, how great he is. Are you kidding me? A guy that tries to kill people on the ice, and you want to praise that guy? There's something wrong in this world.
Like I said, I've never seen anybody go full horizontal like that, like a friggin' missile.
Well, apparently he tripped or whatever, so he didn't do that on purpose. Apparently, I don't know.
I'm gonna stick with the apparently because
he's really quick to go all of a sudden. Well, then I'll lift my elbow and get him with the elbow. I mean, I think he did that on purpose. I'll have to look at it again to see about how he got launched. But still.
the elbow 100%
right now.
The trip wasn't legit.
Well, it wasn't a trip. Like Xhekaj ducked because he went, "Oh, I'm gonna die if I don't duck."
Sorry, no, he didn't. He didn't leave his feet. That's what I meant to say. He didn't leave his feet, but he did clearly try to leave with the elbow.
He definitely used the elbow.
Yeah,
I don't see how he could go into the boards like that. How was he on his skates still to go in at that? He couldn't have been on his skates.
I mean, he was full horizontal, like.
But you're saying, how did he trip then? What are you saying about a trip? How did that happen?
Xhekaj ducked, and then Trouba hit the board. So it wasn't a trip. Xhekaj
ducked, but
Xhekaj for having the vision to see out of the corner of his eye, oh, that's a missile. I need to duck.
Yeah. Right. Trouba was in the air. So what? How did he get there? He had to leap. No?
Yeah, I mean, Nietzsche didn't duck to the last minute, so like,
got really
I
lucky.
reserve judgment, but I think, knowing what Jacob Trouba does, there's no question in my mind he probably was already leaving his feet.
Yeah, I think so.
He can't convince me otherwise. I've seen too much of his shit. He can't convince me otherwise.
If he would have, if that would have happened, but no elbow, and you could see it was sort of, he wasn't trying to hurt him. The fact that he tried to hurt him, that's on purpose. So however he got there on purpose.
Yeah.
What I say. And I'm an expert. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
Now, how about Edmonton blowing a 3-0 lead last night in the third?
Yeah, I just heard about that. I didn't see it. I didn't watch the game. But I saw it was 4-1 Edmonton.
Yeah,
at one point, and then I didn't pay attention. I was doing other things, and then how did Vancouver came back, man?
It was a character win. They limited the Oilers' shot attempts. They held McDavid to 0 shots for the first time in his career in the playoffs.
Wow,
it was just a damn good win. Stuart Skinner sucked. Expected he would. It was just a good win for the Canucks. They just fought hard. This is their year.
It seems like it. Well, I've got them winning that series, so.
Oh yeah, easily this should be.
Okay.
Also, before we do head out, I will say, go Montreal, go! I guess the PWHL Montreal team is currently in the playoffs.
It's true.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at Boston make the playoffs. I haven't even looked.
Boston's playing Montreal.
Now I heard something about they were 3 teams that were clinched. And one of the teams picked who they wanted to play.
Yeah, the number 1 seed.
Yeah, the top seed picks who they want between 3 and 4.
Oh, that's weird.
It is
some weird things. They have to say there's a couple of their rules that are weird.
I agree.
They're penalty if you get a penalty, and even if it's a short.
Oh yeah, if you're scored on short, if you get a shorthanded goal, the penalty still ends. I love that actually. I love that.
Ends, yeah.
I love that. The NHL used to have that. I honestly think they should go back to that.
I don't remember that ever.
Yeah, it was all the way back in like the 40s.
Oh,
it was up until like the 50s, something like that. I don't know how. I know that used to be a rule in the NHL for a little while. Same with how
Harry's useless information.
I'll give you a little more. Power plays, I believe it was up until the 50s as well. Yeah. Used to be concurrent. You used to have to play the full 2 minutes. You could score 3 or 4 goals on a 2-minute minor. Doesn't matter.
It's because of a specific line too. The Richard Locke to Blake line. That line they'd get 2-3 goals like on a power play. It got to the point where the league said, okay, we're going to change that rule.
Yeah.
And Montreal Canadiens, basically Maurice Richard, you could say, got the league to change that rule. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
pretty interesting though, talking about that in college in the NCAA. On a power play, if you were to score, the other team does get a man back, but whoever's serving the penalty has to stay in the box for 2 minutes.
That I kind of like.
That's different. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I do like that because that makes the taking a penalty even more.
It makes it mean something.
Yeah. It makes you taking it. Your coach ain't happy with you.
Yeah, say Kucherov takes a double minor. They score on the first one. Oh, okay, I'll be out in 2 minutes. Nope, you're still out in those 4 minutes.
You're still shorthanded, sort of.
Yeah, you get the man back. You just can't use your best player.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So there is there's a little more consequence to taking a penalty.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Plus, I think it would actually add to when you get, like, for example, too many men, and usually you'll send, like, the Habs, they'll send Cole Caulfield to serve the minor.
Right.
If they get scored on, then they can't use Caulfield for 2 minutes.
Right.
How do you adapt to that? I want to find that out. I like that, actually.
Yeah. So delayed penalty in the NCAA, if you score while you have the man advantage, you still get the power play.
Yeah, I like that. That's something I wish they had too.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I get that. Okay, well, the punishment. Okay, you got scored on, you don't get the penalty. But I feel like if there's a penalty, I think that should still be served.
But
you
listen,
got
I
scored
think it's
on.
the same with a penalty shot. If someone takes a penalty shot, I think regardless of the outcome, it's still a power play.
Okay, maybe that because
that one I don't like.
Because listen, when you're on a delayed penalty, I mean, you have the advantage. If you score, you're on the power play. So you score, no, you guy doesn't go in the box.
No, I agree. But I do like the rule that like you do have to stay in the box for the duration of the penalty.
That one I don't mind. I like the fact that you make it a little bit more costly to the guy taking the penalty. Maybe we wouldn't have as many frivolous little penalties that way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Speaking of penalties, by the way, I didn't know this till last night. Did you know the Bruins have too many men calls this playoffs than all the other teams combined?
They had 5 last night, man, that I saw. 5 in one game.
Of too many men?
Yeah, I think. Or they were at 5. They had 5 for the playoffs. I'm not sure. I think it was 5 for last night.
No, I think they had 2 last night, but they have 5 for the playoffs. All the other teams combined, either still playing or eliminated, have 4.
You know, they're taking too many men penalties way too often.
And they're not even like ones where you get caught in a change. Legitimately, last night, one of them was because they were playing with 6 players. Like, nobody had a clue. Nobody had a clue. And I just look at Cam. I'm like, dude, I like go back to kindergarten. Like, I don't know, but that cannot happen.
The excitement of the moment. The excitement of the moment, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing Jim Montgomery's bald because those penalties give coaches gray hairs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, on his balls because he's bald. So.
But I didn't know that. I'm like, geez, like learn how to count.
Well, okay, because where did you watch the game from?
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, because they had that on the game last night. I was on Sportsnet. They talked about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's where I heard it because I didn't know until I think they said it on the broadcast, and I was like, at this point in the season, like that's way beyond unacceptable.
Yeah, no, you can't, especially how important power plays and PKs are.
Like just count too. It's like it's not even something that's like hard to avoid. Count. Just count.
I mean, yeah.
Like be quick when you're getting on and off the ice. Like it's that type of penalty too drives me nuts because it's just a penalty of laziness.
Yeah, pay attention. You gotta pay attention and be focused. Your guy, he's not off the ice yet. Don't jump on. Especially when there's a jumble, like a bunch of, both sides are changing up, a bunch of guys going on, off. It could easily, and then the puck is there. One guy just plays the puck, the wrong guy, that's too many men.
But I know the other day, they literally were playing with 6 guys. Nobody looked around and went 1, 2, 3.
First game,
shit, I gotta get off.
They had one first game. I think there were 7 of them out there.
Count. Just count.
I know.
Like
7 skaters. So let's see, 7 skaters.
That penalty drives me nuts. Because it's a penalty of laziness. Like just.
It's focus. They're not focused on for some reason on that. And it's obviously carrying. But the thing is, I don't really care because now I don't like the Bruins. I
was fine with it. I couldn't believe that was how many too many men calls they have. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I kind of thought it's funny. Good. Hope they do more. At this point, they're not my team no more.
Also, it kind of seems like Charlie McAvoy's a double agent. I think he's screened Swayman like 4 times on goals.
Yeah, I think I saw something.
Like he was getting ripped too on the post-game show on 98.5. I was listening to the radio on the way home, and it's like get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
The goal too that Florida scored with like 0.2 seconds left.
Yeah.
They showed the replay, and like
the
Panther player he was trying to cover was on like the side of Swayman, and McAvoy just slid right and just blocked him. I'm like, you guys not even there. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was 0.3 seconds left in the period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you guys not even there.
When that happened, I said, that's the game. To me, that was the game.
I did too. I said, that's a ball breaker. I think that's the game.
That's a ball. When you're trying to come back already because they were behind, I think already. That was third goal, fourth.
Yeah, I think
which
so.
goal was it?
Third 3-1, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not that's just gonna kill you. You're not coming back from that today.
No,
and they didn't. So
I also thought, and I've started to hear this too from a lot of other people. Like, I think McAvoy's injured or something because he just seems way off.
Everybody's injured at some.
Well, no, and I get that, but I mean, like, just something seems way off about him because he's giving the puck away a lot.
Yeah, he's probably.
I don't know why he keeps screening Jeremy Swayman. Like, if I'm Jeremy Swayman, next time I just take the stick and crap in the nuts. So, like, dude,
get out of the way.
Get the hell out of the way.
Yep. Yeah, probably something. But I mean, so many of those guys they're playing with something.
No, I mean, without a doubt. And I said that. I said, I'm sure he did. So he's banged up in some way, but
unless you're Austin Matthews,
just like a little bang, like being banged up a little bit.
Unless you're Austin Matthews, if you take an awkward hit, that could be it for the playoffs.
I think you were right on his. Did you watch him in the press conference? He was kind of moving like his back was bothering him. I think you were right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's either like I'm not sure what it is at all. Still, it's going to be a mystery.
But I think you're onto something with his back because when he was talking, he kept kind of doing this, like trying to stretch it out. It
seemed to me that's what it was, and I get it. It's a back, and it's skating already. Skating. You got to be a little bit forward. It's not great on your. It's kind of like a golf swing when you're in your stance. You're sort of like sitting on the edge of a bar stool, sort of. It's not great if you have a bad back. Golf can be really hard on your back. Skating is the same. So if it's that,
because you're really kind of on the balls of your feet.
Yeah, no, I'll give a guy a bit of a break if it's that, because especially when you're leaned over like that a little bit, you take a hit, and with your back, it kind of makes sense because the way you described it as I took an awkward hit, it sounds like a back thing just from that, Clearly not his knees, or he wouldn't have been out there again. So
Hurricanes just tied the game.
Yeah, and I mean,
who tied?
Hurricanes just tied it with 1:36 left.
Now we know why he's so quiet. He's watching the hockey game.
I wanted to give you props for that because when I was watching him talk, he was kind of doing this, like he was trying to like stretch it out or something like.
Yeah, like me, like I do. Yeah, I have a bad back, so I know what that looks like. I should anyway, so that's what it looked like to me. And it's what made sense. Anyway, that's it. We're all done, right? All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate that.
We do.
Just as a suggestion, if you're still here, check out, I just put out a mock draft video today. It's on it's on Talking Habs. So it's on here. Check it out and let me know what you think. How's that? And then that's it. We'll see you next week, where we will bring you another great episode of Hab-Normals, because we are Hab-Normals. That's it. So have a great week. My dog's going to say goodbye. Till next week. I say goodbye for everybody. You can leave us, by the way. I find my dog will let me. There's a dog barking outside. Send us a comment. Send us an email. That's all in the description down there. And check out our other Pucking Around. Link is in the description. And that's it. I'm going to stop talking.
You tell him, Raven.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Later, peeps.
Ciao, ciao. Let me remember the out music.